Guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Wednesday, November 11th, 2020, and today we're going to be taking the first look at the 2022 United States Senate election. So I know that this is sort of early, to say the least. However, after we get the election results in January 2021, we will know who will control the United States Senate. And from then, we are going to absolutely be looking at the 2022 Senate races. Now, this map is the same map that was up in 2016. Out of all of the maps that I've seen so far, there's only 3 of them, this map favors the Democratic Party the most. But unfortunately for them, this year will probably serve them at a disadvantage. This year, they need to, if they lose both Georgia Senate seats, they will need to pick up 2 seats in the United States Senate. So far, they have won 48 by flipping the states of Colorado and Arizona while losing the state of Alabama, which puts them at 48 Senate seats. So that's exactly where we were back in 2016 following those Senate elections. So we've come full circle 6 years later. And we're now taking a look at some of these more competitive states. As you can see, practically all of Abraham Lincoln right across here has a contested Senate race, or not a contested Senate race, an up for grabs Senate race. And, you know, with the exception of Minnesota, we're probably going to see money invested into the Iowa Senate race, possibly Missouri. The last time that election was up, it was competitive. So I just want to go through some of these states and talk about what I think will be the closer races versus not. So they have this list, what they consider to be potentially competitive races. This will probably change as we saw the introduction of South Carolina and Kansas as competitive races this time. While the results didn't actually end up with those numbers being narrow, it still was interesting that a lot of money was invested in those races compared to the actual result. But pretty much, they identify the states where Republican-held seats are up for re-election in Florida, Iowa, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Now, Joe Biden only won 2 out of those 6 states. It's going to be kind of difficult trying to do better than Joe Biden did in the presidential election, especially in a year where you are the incumbent party. In the Democratic Party, they also have seats up in Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, and New Hampshire, so expect them to be more on the offense than usual. New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, the incumbent governor who was just reelected, is poised to run in the United States Senate there. In Nevada, traditionally a close race within a percentage point currently, and actually within a few percentage points currently between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In Colorado, Joe Biden did very well here. However, it's possible that this race is competitive. And in Arizona, I mean, we just had a Senate race up here decided by less than 3%. It could very well be competitive in 2022. So on both sides, we are going to see close races. There's a Senate seat also up in the state of Georgia, so it's going to be pretty close. Let's take a look at the races up. So we have Alabama with Richard Shelby, who will probably retire. If he doesn't, this will definitely be his last term. He was first elected in 1986. Surprisingly, actually not as a Republican, as a Democrat. He switched political parties amidst the Bill Clinton administration. In 1992, when he was reelected, he was elected as a Democrat, and then 1998, he was elected as a Republican. So, again, switching political parties, we did see the South shift away from the Democratic Party. But Alabama, up for grabs, not competitive. In Alaska, Lisa Murkowski, the reason why I think that we might see some people discuss this race is because Lisa Murkowski's approval rating certainly has taken a dip after her firm opposition to President Trump and a lot of his endeavors. And we're going to probably see, if ranked choice voting actually passes, we are probably going to see the Republican Party be split between her and possibly Joe Miller. And as a result, she will probably win just because if we are working with ranked choice voting, if it does pass, but we still have to see if that happens, the Democratic Party will likely send over all of their votes to Lisa Murkowski because they'd rather have someone who has a shaky history with the Republican Party rather than someone who is a very solid Republican. And even if we have a race where ranked choice voting isn't an option, we probably still could see the same thing happening just because the Democratic Party would have self-interest, and Alaska, to be completely honest with you, isn't going to the Democrats, especially in a year that's poised to be a Republican wave year. In Arizona, Mark Kelley will absolutely be running again. He won this Senate race. We will see, though, what the final result is, and it'll probably determine whether or not people are too comfortable about that Senate race. Arkansas is not going to be competitive. California, this was previously Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's seat, but it looks like there will be an appointment, but it may or may not be a House of Representatives member, especially in a competitive district. So we will see who that nominee is going to be. It's almost certain that they will run. In Colorado, Michael Bennet probably won't be facing too much opposition. I mean, Colorado has shown us that it is still pretty Democratic, but the Democratic Party also made inroads in states that are traditionally more conservative. So I could definitely see the Republican Party sending money here. It could be competitive. I don't think it will be, but it could be competitive. In Connecticut, we won't see a competitive race. In Florida, honestly, I think Marco Rubio has this one, but it's still Florida. It's a state that the Democratic Party should be investing in for future elections, so I could see if they want to just lay out the groundwork, and sure, they'd lose the Senate race, but still maybe get more of the vote than Joe Biden did in 2020. So Florida, probably leaning Marco Rubio, but I could see the Democratic Party trying to contest it. Georgia will absolutely be competitive. We will see whoever wins that one in January, absolutely running for re-election. Don't worry about Hawaii. Don't worry about Idaho. Don't worry about Illinois, Indiana. I understand people said, Evan Bayh would win this Senate race. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I don't think that he's going to end up running again. And it's Indiana. It's going to the Republican Party. Things can change, but initial reaction, Republican hold. Chuck Grassley probably won't run for re-election. He's been in since 1980, so it's going to be kind of difficult to sort of say, have me in for 4 decades, but it's possible. Even if he doesn't run, we could see this still being a mildly competitive race, but 2016, take a look at that. I mean, that was a deafening blow to the Democratic Party. So there are some possibilities for the Democrats if Chuck Grassley is to retire, but if he's running for re-election, I would say Republican hold. In Kansas, we will see. Honestly, it's just because this race was expected to be competitive this year does not mean that this race will automatically be competitive in 2022, especially in a year where the Democratic Party is poised to lose seats. Kansas, really don't worry about it. Kentucky, Rand Paul's going to win. Louisiana, it's going to the GOP. Maryland, it's going to the Democrats. Missouri, we saw it competitive in 2016. It was within a few percentage points, but honestly, I don't think Jason Kander is going to make a return. He's a nice guy, but also Missouri has definitely gotten a lot more partisan. And even in a year where the entire country swung to the left, it only narrowly nudged in terms of the presidential results. Nevada will absolutely be competitive. New Hampshire, if Chris Sununu is going to run, absolutely going to be competitive. I don't think Kelly Ayotte is going to run. In New York, this is going to be safe for Chuck Schumer. North Carolina, Richard Burr is probably going to be lucky that he's in a year where the Democratic Party won't be in full force. If this was 2018, I could have seen it gone to the Democratic Party, but this is not 2018. This is not going to be a Democratic wave year. North Carolina, I would say initial reaction is, the GOP is going to do okay there. Well, he's retiring. So even then, I still don't think that the Democratic Party is going to be the favorite in this state. His retirement adds to the possibility of a Democrat winning, but it's still North Carolina in a expected to be Republican wave year. It's going to be very difficult for the Democrats, to say the least. They're going to probably be playing defense, not offense this time. In North Dakota, don't worry about it. Ohio, it's going to go Rob Portman. Oklahoma, don't worry about it. Oregon, do not worry about it. Pennsylvania, Pat Toomey is retiring. This actually is a competitive race. I think the Democratic Party could win this Senate race. And a lot of the other races, yes, they could be competitive, but I'd say the Republican Party is leaned. This is the only state that I'd say the Democratic Party could possibly be in the favorite to win. We could see possibly even their incumbent governor running, but then again, he would have to decide about that pretty soon. South Carolina, don't worry about it. Tim Scott's going to win. South Dakota, Utah, waste of money if you spend any money here on either side. Vermont, safe for the Democrats. Washington, safe for the Democrats. Wisconsin, Ron Johnson said, I'm going to retire way back when, then said, you know what, just kidding, I'm not going to commit to anything. And then he sort of made it an iffy situation where if Trump was to win the election, he would have not ran in the United States Senate, or if Biden won the election, he would consider running in the United States Senate. So we don't know his actual intent, but I would say the bet is that he probably is going to run for the United States Senate, and he could do well. It's still a Democratic state, though, based off our 2020 election results. And I know it's narrow, and I know it could very well go to the GOP as it did in 2016. I'm just saying that, it could still be a target for the Democratic Party. But notice how I barely had any areas where the Democratic Party could possibly gain seats. While there are a number of competitive races, it's still pretty difficult. I think it speaks volumes that this map is actually one of the most favorable ones, the most favorable one, in my opinion, for the Democrats, and they're still not poised to even have any automatic pickups. I think Pennsylvania might be a safe bet at some point. I wouldn't say, bet on it now. But Pennsylvania, North Carolina, 2 targets for the Democratic Party. I think Wisconsin could join the fray. Arizona would definitely be an area that they need to hold. Nevada as well. Georgia, if it goes to the GOP. But at the end of the day, the Democratic Party never really has that good of a chance of winning back the United States Senate. And this map, while would be pretty good for them if they were working in a Democratic wave year, unfortunately for them, that is not the situation. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment down suggestions below. Subscribe on the left if you haven't already, and check out the Instagram and Twitter. At the bottom left of the screen, there's also a Discord server for you to go ahead and join. On the screen, there's a video you can watch and then a playlist for my 2022 election videos. This is actually the only one in it, so go ahead and check out another playlist on my channel. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all later today.